Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. Today's project is a small confetti lamp. We'll be making it from a small scrap of wood. Stick around, we'll get started. Stock preparation is pretty straightforward. The little lamp is 1.5 inches in diameter and about 1.5 inches tall. So I took a small square scrap of wood, found the center, marked it, drew a circle that encompasses the largest that I could do, went to the drill press and mounted a 1.5 inch Forstner bit, drilled a hole down about 1.5 inches deep. You want the lamp to sit just about flush with the top edge. You don't want it to sit below it because this is an open flame. The lamp runs on alcohol. You don't want the wood catching fire. So after nipping off the corners, this should be ready to mount on the band or mount on the lathe. Let's go do that. There were a couple of different ways I could have mounted this block. I could have put my pen jaws on my chuck and slid that over it and expanded into the recess or into the hole here, but because this is a finished edge, you want to have access to it. So I need to be able to profile it and eventually sand it and put finish on it. So what I chose to do was instead is make up a jam chuck. So it's got a 1.5 inch section here, and it's actually wider than the hole is deeper, so that when it's mounted, I still have room to get in there to that edge to profile it, sand it, and finish it. So, and it's not a very tight-fitting jam chuck because I was afraid that if I made it really tough to or really tight, the potential for damaging it when I try to pull it off is there. So instead, what I'm going to do is use a little bit of hot glue here that will mate up with the flat hole. So let me get that in. Well, get ready to get that in place, because the other thing I've got to do is use a soft touch in my tailstock to put some pressure. Let's see. It's good enough. Apply just a little bit of pressure. And it should be good to go. Excuse the reach. Now let me grab my safety gear and a bowl gouge. Since this is as much as you can with a piece of burl, this is bowl grain orientation. Let me get that down to round and then we'll talk about the shape. Okay, that's close enough to round. Because this is an open flame, you want to make sure that the base is wider than the top. You wouldn't want to make just a cup that could easily tip over. So what I'm probably going to do, let me grab the previous one I did and I'll show you. So this one, I definitely made the base wider than the top. I'll probably do that again, but since I've got a bit more room to play with, I've got a bit more options. So what I may do is make like a kind of like a flask or like an Erlenmeyer flask, where you have a rounded section and then a straight section. And we'll see if I've got room enough to put a bead at the top. Let me see. Ah, didn't even see that void. I think it's a character. Let me go ahead and grab some sandpaper and start sanding. I use a dental pick to get any wax that's built up in there out. Otherwise, I think we're done. That is the nice thing about that hot melt glue. You don't risk breaking it to get it off. Cool. So there is no real assembly here. You could potentially put a dab of hot melt glue in the bottom before you put the lamp in, but I like to be able to remove the lamp so that if I need to refill it, I don't have to carry the whole thing around. So, and this kit came from Rockler. There are 4 lamps in the kit. It includes the actual lamp itself, and then a bit of wick and a glass ferrule, and even a small little funnel for filling it up. The fuel is denatured alcohol, or at least that's what's recommended. Isopropyl alcohol also works, but it's not quite as clean burning. Fill it up, only put a little bit in, and you're good to go. That's it. If this is your first time here, please be sure to hit subscribe. I try to produce one of these videos a week. Hit like, share, comment. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Take care.